Yo, everybody, what's good with y'all, man? Like the video, subscribe. Good to see y'all here with another one, man. The Michael Jordan dilemma. Just when we over here thought we heard all of the GOAT discussions and GOAT debates and everything that we sat here and could really talk about, something then gets thrown up in the air to really throw us a monkey wrench in the things that we're doing. And we're like, oh, man, we need to sit here and come back to this discussion, right? And there has been news recently, and a man by the name of Tom, I think Haberstroh, has written an article. He's a contributing writer for Yahoo Sports, I believe. He did an investigation on the defensive player year back in the 1987 to 1988 NBA season, the one that Michael Jordan won, right? And he did an investigation on this. He was watching film. He also did some interviews and everything to sit here and see if this was a defensive player of the year that was valid. Shout out to Daniel in the building. Shout out to Andre, man. Salute to all of y'all. Remember to show support, man. Appreciate y'all. But yeah, he wrote an article, an extensive article on these things. We're gonna go over that article today together, really read some fine points and really get through this discussion of the defensive player of the year and if Michael Jordan deserved it, and some alarming things that he recognized and that he found out during this investigation. All right. It's very crazy to see. My whole point and take away from it, all of this, right, is what has been the one thing, like seriously, yo, chat, what has been the one thing to keep LeBron from these MJ discussions? What's been the one thing when people talk about these accolades and everything that Michael Jordan had on just about everybody? Defensive player of the year. You hear it all the time, man. All the time. They always bring it up. But now when we sit here and bring into question the validity of this defensive player of the year, how the hell can we even look at that? How is this going to affect these GOAT discussions and how people look at it? What I think is going to happen is people already have their certain beliefs on what they think is true. And despite this whole thing coming to surface, similar to what happened with the Tim Donaghy film, no matter how many eyebrows that are going to be raised off of people from the past coming out to talk about Michael Jordan and how they were really cheating for him, if we're just going to be honest, just cheating for him to succeed, they're not going to care. That's their GOAT. You feel me? And it's crazy. Like, it is what it is. It's crazy. But let's get into this, man. Let's start off with this article, bro. And let's get into the beginning. Again, this is written by Tom Haberstroh. Salute to him and the phenomenal article he's written, man. Happy Monday, man. Let's get right, bro. And let's get right to it, right? In 1987 to 88, Michael Jordan became the first player ever to win the scoring title and the DPOY in the same season. To this day, the feat hasn't been duplicated. Now, I'm going to be like skipping a lot. Y'all could sit here and pause the video and read it, but I think there's some unnecessary information that's here that I don't really need to really harp on too much, right? So I'm just gonna kind of just skip over things and just kind of like skim through this. I've read this morning, and I'm definitely going to what's it called? Just get through this as fast as I possibly can for you guys, right? It's one of the goals I set for myself. Jordan told the AP after winning the award, I wanted to show people that I'm more than just a scorer. I am a complete player. The award also delivered generational power, with its profound impact being felt even today when debating the legends of the game. The DPOY gave Jordan something that LeBron James, Kareem, and Magic Johnson never had: recognition for being the best defender. So this goes back to my point. Where I said this defensive player of the year did do a lot for his legacy and did do a lot for who he was as a player, because he did something that a lot of these greats haven't done, especially you winning scoring title and a defensive player of the year on top of that. But a closer look at Jordan's 1987-88 season reveals a substantial discrepancy between his home and road statistics, raising questions about the authenticity of his off-the-chart steals and blocks numbers that season, and shining a light on an era that seemed particularly vulnerable to the hidden hand of homer bias. So for everyone's information, I'm going to sit here and talk really not really read it off of here, but just tell y'all, back when like the home teams and everything back in the 80s and 90s and even around like the 2005, like 2005, 2008, there was extreme homer bias. And what they mean by that is there was a considerable gap in terms of the stats for players at home and the stats for players on the road. John Stockton was a good example of this. John Stockton and the Utah Jazz, John Stockton's assist numbers was definitely at a crazy level between there was a large discrepancy between his home and his away games. And Michael Jordan and a lot of NBA players and a lot of NBA players, not just Michael Jordan, benefited from this because it was almost regularly all the home teams boosted their home players' stats. That's just something that they've done. And that he goes into this article really talking about that and really getting into that. I'm going to read some portions of that right there. But that's something key here, that this was something that they definitely did. They can't really do it nowadays because now that we're in the gambling era for the NBA, when you have things like that, going on, there's going to be room to, like, you can get sued for stuff like that. You cannot affect stats the way it used to be. So now, like, it's almost perfect in terms of the discrepancy between the two, from the home and away games. But before like 2010, the 2010s era, it was completely ridiculous, right? So that's what's been going on. I know there's been some investigations of Jaren Jackson Jr., right? Because his home and away discrepancy was crazy. They did a whole entire investigation on that already. It got proven that Jaren Jackson Jr. literally was just playing better at home. It was wild. I mean, you can't make it up like that. It is what it is. But I want to get into some of these. I want to get into some of these discrepancies right here and really show you all the stats and the statistics of everything, right? So let me show y'all this. Let me show y'all this chart right here. And this is the home disparity between the two. So Michael Jordan right here. This is a chart of ranking his home versus road split difference on combined blocks and steals. His stocks, right? Steals and blocks. For every defensive player of the year winner, stocks are scaled on a per 36-minute basis to control for playing time, right? So these stats are registered in the per 36 stat. Michael Jordan literally leads the league in NBA history. In NBA history, bro. He has led the league by a considerable margin at 182% difference from the home and away games. For his steals and blocks, he went from 3.02 to 5.5. 2.5 steals and blocks more on the road, at home, than it is away. That is the largest discrepancy between anybody in this list. It is still a crazy discrepancy, and no one has yet to match that. 182% is insane, bro. Crazy that Ben Wallace popped up here like 4 times, right? Wild as hell. So, and I do want to get some, because this is where I read it. I read it in the article here. I want to talk about how in this article it states how people need to understand this about basketball and the NBA and even the 80s. At the end of the day, this is an entertainment industry. Like, it's definitely an entertainment industry, bro. So what happens in entertainment industries? They're going to do everything they can to boost up whoever they want. It's like the WWE, bro. It is what it is. And again, this isn't just claims of just MJ. This happened with, and it says it right here, right? This happens with players like, zooming out, the numbers seem to back up Rutgers' testimony. Rutgers was a guy who was a scorekeeper for the Vancouver Grizzlies. Vancouver's young star Sharif Abdur-Rahim saw lopsided home/road splits in the blocks and steals columns during the time Rutgers was a scorekeeper in Vancouver. But it wasn't just Vancouver. Evidence of home bias showed up across the league, most dramatically in the 80s and 90s. In the 80s, the home team annually registered about 800 more blocks and about 450 more steals than the road team league-wide, per Basketball Reference tracking. Over time, those home/road disparities began to even out, significantly so in the Adam Silver era. This past season, the homer effect on blocks and steals disparities has all but disappeared. disappeared. Just 135 more blocks at home than on the road, and a measly 13 more steals league wide. Now, people can sit here and talk about how, you know, modern day technology definitely helps out a lot with that. And he brings up Jaren Jackson Jr. here as well to talk about the steals and blocks. But again, the verdict was delivered within minutes. It was unanimous. The blocks and steals were legit, right? So the thing is it's so crazy now in the Adam Silver era, and now with this whole gambling being a part of the thing, there and with technology, there's not as much of room for larger of an error. But this is why I say all the time, when it comes to stats, especially stats from the past, bro, we cannot sit here and just be like, yo, this guy averaged this amount, Bill Russell, because now they're even questioning Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain for all of this. We can't sit here. This mofo was averaging 40 something rebounds. And this is why he was at this level and everything, because even the stats have been manipulated to fit a narrative. I keep telling y'all, it's NBA is an entertainment industry, and the stats that they have been pushing are pushing it to fit a narrative to whoever they want to succeed the most, man. Oh, I got you, autism boy. Hold up, give me 1 second. I got you, my guy. And that's what they have been doing for a very, very, very long time. And that's something that, I mean, you got to think about it yourself too. In the entertainment industry, you got to have storylines, you got to have things that hit, you got to have things that stand. And at the end of the day, you got to build up stars, right? This product, we have to make this product the best that it can be. And how can we do that? Well, we got to make sure that the best players in our league are doing some of the best things that we've ever seen in NBA history. And Michael Jordan was definitely a beneficiary of that. Now, in terms of me and like the way I look at basketball, this really doesn't mean anything too much to me, because at the end of the day, it's not just about stats for me. It's not even just about awards for me. It's really just about the level of play and how good I think these players are. But when a lot of NBA fans invest themselves in stats and invest themselves in awards, they need to understand that they are definitely being manipulated by personal biases of people from that time, and the stats and the awards they are using are stats and awards used with personal biases of the people from the past. And that's something we just need to sit here and be real about. That's why I'm not gonna lie, I've been hearing about this. You know who I haven't really heard about like cheat besides like the 2002 Western Conference Finals? Kobe. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm looking more into this. I'm like, yo, Kobe's even more of the GOAT. I'm not gonna hold you. Kobe's even more reason to sit here and be like, man, he's the greatest player of all time, bro. That man's the greatest player of all time. And what people aren't understanding is this is so big. Like, this is a very big thing, bro, because you had the Tim Donaghy film. You even though people call Scottie Pippen a hater, bro, Scottie Pippen has been telling y'all this for years. Scottie has been telling you this. You have players and coaches in the back talking about how the 90s was a bit watered down, right? And there's so many points and factors looking to MJ and being like, bro, you're great, but the level that people were holding you to, bro, it's not as great as people have been trying to allude to, man. And I'm just thinking about this and I'm like, bro, like people need to sit here and have a real self-reflection on what they're going to sit here and talk about in these GOAT conversations, man. MJ's still great, but you cannot deny the fact that the NBA, that his hometown, they had a certain agenda to push for Michael Jordan. The same way how people hate on LeBron James, right? They hate on LeBron James for doing the same thing. Bro, MJ literally has that same exact thing done for him and his caliber and his legacy. And they kept propelling him and propelling him and propelling him. There's points where there's literally a film talking about how they were cheating games and not calling calls on him because they wanted him to succeed, fam. How much more evidence do you need? And then on top, now we're getting into more details about, bro, they were even manipulating stats for him to win Defensive Player of the Years because people don't notice. Michael Jordan, you want to know why steals and blocks are so big now? Because Michael Jordan, people talk about LeBron bitching. Michael Jordan was bitching about it, talking about how they didn't value it enough. And literally the very next year, what happens? He wins the Defensive Player of the Year because he had a historic amount of blocks and he had a crazy amount of steals because Michael Jordan was bitching about it. Like all this stuff that people talk about LeBron James and how he complained and everything like that and how he be bitching. Michael Jordan be bitching too. But y'all, number one, social media wasn't as big as back then. So when he says things like this, it's not all over plastered all over like it usually is now. Bro, this man literally complained about steals and blocks not being valued enough. And the very next year, they gave him a Defensive Player of the Year because of that. Like, bro, that's literally what happened. He was tired of Michael Cooper winning that John, and he was complaining about it. It's disgusting. You want to know why people are stats guys? And the same people who love MJ, they hate just conversations solely based on stats. But your king, your GOAT, loves stats. And he wanted the stats to be a part of the award so that he can win. Because Michael Cooper's style of basketball was, which I think is more valuable, denying them the ball. You don't have to get the steal. It's almost like a cornerback, right? It's better for you not to get the ball at all. Interceptions are crucial. But what would you rather have? A cornerback gets high interceptions, but the players still be able to catch the ball a bit? Or a player like a Darrelle Revis who don't get a lot of interceptions like that, but he is locking them the hell up. And that was literally Cooper's idea. Like, that was who Cooper was. He was a guy who denied it, where he didn't really get to a crazy amount of steals like MJ because, no, he was just denying them the whole game. And MJ was complaining about that. And MJ was like, bro, like, you got to put some value in these steals and blocks. Bro. And this is where, and y'all know about my disliking towards LeBron James. This is where I feel for LeBron James because you had a time, which is so crazy. You had a time to win the Defensive Player of the Year. They gave it to Marc Gasol. And now we're looking at MJ's Defensive Player of the Year. And they gave it to him because he was bitching about steals and blocks. But not even that. He was bitching. They were literally cheating steals and blocks for him. Bro, you can't make this up. And now we look at Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain, and now they're even investigating that, how there was a bunch of inflated stats for them. I need people to understand, when y'all doing things on a pen and paper, you know what's going to happen? There's going to be room for cheating, and there's going to definitely be room for error. I remember Mars, and literally, when I sit here and found out about this story, the first thing I remember was Mars. And he said, bro, I don't think that Wilt Chamberlain thing happened. I was like, why not? He said, bro, Wilt Chamberlain never shot from the free throw line ever like that in his career besides that game. He said that was the only game where he sat here and shot that great from the free throw line. And he had nothing else in his whole entire career to show for that. He said, I don't think that thing happened. And literally, bro, I'm looking at this story now. I look back at that. I was like, damn, bro. These people was really cheating, man. I'm not going to hold you. They was really cheating, bro. And it's crazy, bro. Like, the integrity of the game back then is cooked, bro. It's cooked. Kobe's my GOAT, man. Mike Lowry, bro. Kobe the GOAT. I don't hear this shit about Kobe. The league hated Kobe. They didn't want Kobe to succeed. They didn't want Kobe to be great because they got mad at him for Colorado, right? They were against him. He had to do so much to put his name back in the great graces, man. But Mike Lowry, I just told you, they did an investigation on that. It was definitely just a pure coincidence. No cheating. It was definitely valid. Definitely valid, bro. And Kobe, my GOAT, man. He ain't do no PEDs or nothing. That was just hard work and dedication. They ain't cheat for him. They ain't cheat for him, man. They ain't cheat for him. They wanted him to fail. I'm telling y'all, bro. Kobe, my GOAT, bro. Kobe's my GOAT, man. And when things like this emerge, when things like this are talked about, bro, I'm just sitting here like, man, like, you imagine LeBron James, right? And this is where we got to be fair. Imagine LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Miami Heat were just giving him steals and blocks or even some rebounds. You know how crazy his numbers would be, bro? Bro, it's insane, man. It's insane what they've been doing to the league, bro. It's insane. But it is what it is. Like it's what to be expected, fam. It's what to be expected. That's what happens when there's money involved and they sit here and want to push and push and push and push and push agendas for the best players in the league so that they can push and enhance the brand. That's what happened. Look at this, right? Look at this. This is a crazy one. In February 15th, 1988 game. That's my birthday, actually. That's crazy. The official box score indicates the Atlanta Hawks registered 10 turnovers and the Chicago Bulls tallied 10 steals. That detail immediately grabbed our attention. Turnovers fall into two categories: live ball turnovers and dead ball turnovers. By rule, dead ball turnovers, traveling, out of bounds, 24-second violation, cannot be steals. For example, if, say, Atlanta's Kevin Willis traveled on a play, a steal couldn't be credited to a Bulls defender. Only live ball turnovers, like an intercepted pass or a recovered loose ball, can be assigned to a defensive player for a steal. The more live ball turnovers in a game, the more steals in a game. The Bulls having 10 steals on 10 Hawks turnovers meant that none of the Hawks turnovers could have been dead ball turnovers. No travels, no offensive fouls, no ball tossed out of bounds, no 24-second violations for an entire game. Could it be? Then watch the film independently. As to avoid influencing one another's findings. We compared notes. Turns out we both saw the same troubling series. A 24-second violation by the Hawks offense. Later, Atlanta reserve Chris Washburn dribbled off his foot out of bounds. An outlet pass to Dominique Wilkins bounces off his hands and into the scores table. 3 dead ball turnovers, 3 plays that could not have been considered a steal opportunity, and yet the box score indicates 0 such plays. It also meant an opportunity to hand out 3 excess steals to Bulls players. We compared notes again. We both saw only 2 legitimate steals by Michael Jordan. The box score credited him with 5, in excess of 3 steals to be precise. We saw 2 Jordan steals at best, but possibly only 1. When he poked the ball and chased it down and saved it from going out of bounds before throwing it directly to the Hawks for a turnover. And the other play, a transition deflection by Jordan's teammate Mike Brown that was covered by Michael Jordan, could have gone either way. There were 3 steals unaccounted for. So chat, for those of y'all that kind of got lost in that, basically what he's saying, in that Bulls game versus the Hawks, they had 10 steals. The Hawks had 10 turnovers. And what happened? They looked to see if all of those steals was actually turnovers, because that means there was no room for tossed out of bounds or 24-second violations or 8-second violations, right? They said these 10 turnovers happened to all steals. And they seen Michael Jordan ended the game with 5 effing steals, and they could have only seen 2 steals that he had. So that's 3 steals. Those 3 turnovers that they talking about, they just credited to Michael Jordan. What more proof do you need? What more proof do you need, man? And again, go read this article. If you guys really want to read this article, right? Because I don't want to just sit here and do like a whole book reading thing, right? It's on Yahoo Sports, written by Tom Haberstroh, right? It's definitely a lengthy article. I definitely still got to finish the rest of it. It's all on Yahoo Sports right here by this gentleman right here, right? Go read this, John. Go read all of this. I'm sorry, fam. Like, this is what they've investigated. They've watched the film. They've done everything they could. Bro, this is what it is. And multiple people saw and confirmed the same exact thing. But even then, even better, guys, what we can do, if you really want to do your homework, because he has the games right here for us. He has the games right here. Where did the games go? He has these games right here, chat, for us to see. Atlanta at Chicago, November 20th, 1987. Indiana at Chicago, January 25th, 1988. Denver at Chicago, Detroit at Chicago, Atlanta at Chicago, Boston at Chicago. Go research these games and come to your own conclusions. Go research these games, because I will be doing it as well, and come to your own conclusions. These are the games that they were investigating. And we shall see if this is true. For y'all that credibility is important in the journalistic world, so I highly doubt that he did not write this article without confirming this from multiple sources. And this is what he did. The games are right there for you, chat. The games are right there for you to confirm. And you know what? I want to hear what y'all got to say. I want to hear what y'all got to say about this, because I am genuinely curious. I am curious to what you guys have to say about this and these GOAT discussions and what's going on. Oh, I was not on shows when this happened. RIP to Jerry West, man. Salute to him. A legend both on and off the court, bro. Salute to him, man. Appreciate everything he's done for the game. But, bro, this is insane, man. And I have no stake in this. I don't like LeBron. I don't care about LeBron like that. But at the end of the day, was right is right, was wrong is wrong, man. This is pitiful. This is pitiful, man. And I can't believe that so many people have been blinded about what's going on. Yeah, if y'all scared to join? If so, it's cool. I got everything I gotta say off. I got everything I had to get off. You feel me? I expected more people to really have something to say about this. If not, I ain't tripping. I ain't tripping at all, man. So I want y'all to ask yourself this question, man. Is this honestly, and this is the questions I really ask myself, like, how much value are we really gonna really be putting on things that happened so long ago, you know? Like, at the end of the day, bro, what's in the past is in the past, and it's kind of definitely already difficult to compare eras, and especially with the way things are done now, which is completely different from the way things are done today. Bro, how are we even gonna have discussions like this, man? And real discussions, bro. That's why, in my opinion, I'm actually just going. I'm kind of swifting more to the case of just being like, you know what? I'm fine with just comparing people who just played at the same time, man. This whole trying to compare people from different eras and everything, it's just, unless I really seen it, right? If I'm really like was in there watching it, then I think we could get a better grasp. But nah, I'm good, bro. Like, I'm good off this. Like, I'm really good off this, man. I'm good off talking about 80s basketball, bro. I'm good. We could respect them, bro. We could respect them. But I'm sorry, Supreme Science, man. You're 80s baby. I refuse to hear this slander. We done with you, Gen Z ninjas. That's my movement. It is what it is, bro. Salute to y'all, man. Like the video, subscribe, man. Can't wait to see y'all again. And I'm not really gonna make a video about some certain allegations that's happened my way. I did make a post recently to clarify some things that's been happening with other people. So again, you guys just go check out that post and read any type of details that you can. But I would not be doing a whole entire video. My goal is not to sit here and just spew controversy on this platform. I'm just here to do what I got to do. So you could just go check the post out with some certain things that was said about me. And I made that post to address a lot of those things. So you can go check that out. A salute to y'all, man. Y'all be easy. Peace. Be safe.